Most people think the reason they get angry at small, stupid things is because other people are annoying, life is stressful, or everything keeps going wrong. That's the common belief. The world is the problem, not you. So we justify our reactions. We tell ourselves we have every right to explode when someone cuts us off in traffic, when a coworker makes a careless mistake, or when a tiny inconvenience ruins our mood. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The Stoics understood long before modern psychology confirmed it. It's never the event that makes you angry. It's your interpretation of it. Two people can experience the exact same situation. One shrugs it off, the other erupts. The difference isn't the world. The difference is the mind responding to it. And this is where the contrarian insight hits. If small things can trigger you, it means you haven't built the inner calm to withstand them. Not because you're weak, but because you've never been taught the art of mental self-defense. That's exactly what we do here on Stoic Pathway. Our channel has broken down hundreds of Stoic teachings, psychological frameworks, and real-world mental strategies, helping thousands of viewers build calmer minds, stronger emotional resilience, and unshakable self-control. So when we say these 5 Stoic teachings can help you stop getting angry at stupid things, it's not theory. It's a proven practice we've watched transform people's lives over and over again. If you're tired of letting tiny irritations drain your energy, if you're ready to stop giving small things the power to ruin your day, and if you want a mind that stays calm even when the world isn't, then these 5 Stoic teachings are exactly what you need next. Let's get into it. Number 1, lower your expectations of others. One of the biggest reasons people get angry over small, stupid things is because they expect too much from others. We expect people to think like us, behave like us, care like us, drive like us, or work like us. And every time they don't, which is often, we get irritated. The Stoic teaching here is simple. People will always act according to their nature, not your expectations. Lowering your expectations doesn't mean becoming pessimistic or bitter. It means accepting that humans are flawed, distracted, inconsistent, emotional, and imperfect, just like you. When you stop expecting perfection, you stop being disappointed by normal human behavior. Practicing this in daily life is surprisingly simple. When someone drives poorly, remind yourself, most people are not good drivers. When a coworker makes a mistake, tell yourself, everyone slips, I do too. When someone forgets something important, remember, memory isn't perfect, mine isn't either. Instead of thinking they should know better, shift to, of course this happens, it's normal. This tiny internal shift removes the shock factor, the part of anger that says, I can't believe this, because believe it or not, most things are actually very believable. Another technique, create baseline expectations. Assume people will be slow, messy, emotional, forgetful, or distracted. That way, when someone is responsible, kind, or consistent, you're pleasantly surprised instead of constantly annoyed. Why does this matter? Because anger thrives on unrealistic expectations. The higher your expectations, the easier it is for small things to trigger you. When you lower your expectations, everyday frustrations lose their power over you. Life feels lighter, smoother, calmer, and this sets the stage for the next Stoic teaching. Because even if you lower your expectations, you'll still get angry if you don't learn to pause before reacting. Number 2, pause before reacting. This Stoic teaching is deceptively simple. Before you react to anything, pause. Most anger doesn't come from the situation itself, but from the speed of your reaction. When you respond instantly, your brain hasn't had time to think. You're reacting from emotion, not logic. And emotional reactions are almost always exaggerated, impulsive, and regrettable. The pause is powerful because it interrupts the automatic emotional trigger. It creates a small space between the event and your reaction, a space where intelligence can step in and anger loses control. In Stoicism, that short pause is the birthplace of self-mastery. Here's how to use this in real life. When someone says something rude, don't fire back. Take one slow breath. When you're cut off in traffic, don't explode. Relax your shoulders and exhale. When your partner forgets something important, don't snap. Count to 3 silently. These tiny pauses sound insignificant, but they perform a psychological reset. They stop your primitive fight-or-flight response from taking over. Another method is the delay rule. If something upsets you online, an annoying comment, a disrespectful message, wait 10 minutes before replying. If something frustrates you at home or work, say, "Give me a moment," and step away. You'll be amazed at how quickly the emotional wave passes when you don't fuel it with immediate action. Most emotional fires burn out if you don't pour gasoline on them. This matters because without the pause, you're a prisoner of your impulses. You're letting other people and external events control your mood, your decisions, and your peace. The pause is what separates a reactive person from a powerful one. It ensures that you decide how to respond, not your anger. But pausing alone is not enough. Because if you don't learn to question whether something actually matters, you'll still get irritated by things that don't deserve your energy. Number 3, let go of the need to control everything. A huge source of unnecessary anger comes from one illusion: the belief that you can control everything around you. You try to control how people behave, how situations unfold, how plans turn out, how others think, speak, or respond. And every time life refuses to follow your script, irritation rises. The Stoic truth is simple. The more you try to control, the more anger controls you. Life is unpredictable. People are unpredictable. The world doesn't bend to your will, and it never will. Trying to force control is like trying to stop the wind with your hands. All it does is exhaust you and frustrate you. Start by separating your day into 2 categories: what's mine to influence and what's not. If someone arrives late, you can't control that, but you can control your reaction. If your plans change last minute, you can't force the world to cooperate, but you can adapt. If someone speaks rudely, you can't control their tone, but you can control how much of that tone you absorb. A practical technique: whenever something annoys you, say this sentence to yourself: "This is outside my control, so it doesn't deserve my anger." It's not weakness, it's strategic emotional conservation. You can also practice planned flexibility. Expect detours, expect delays, expect interruptions. When you stop demanding perfection from reality, reality stops irritating you. This teaching matters because anger thrives in environments where we believe we're supposed to be in control. When you finally accept what isn't yours to manage, frustration evaporates. You stop fighting the world and start flowing with it. Letting go doesn't make you passive, it makes you wise. You choose your battles instead of being dragged into every one. But even with this clarity, there's another hidden trigger you must master. Because if you don't learn to separate intention from outcome, you'll keep taking things personally and getting angry for no reason. Number 4, question whether it actually matters most. Anger doesn't come from big, life-changing events. It comes from tiny, insignificant things we treat as if they're catastrophes. Someone bumps into you, your phone glitches, a friend replies late, a stranger makes a dumb comment. The Stoic approach is brutally simple. Before you get angry, ask yourself whether this thing actually matters. In other words, will this matter in an hour, in a day, in a week? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. This single question disrupts your emotional reaction by forcing your brain to zoom out instead of exaggerating the moment. Anger needs urgency to survive. The moment you remove that urgency, the anger loses its grip. Here's how to apply it instantly. When you feel irritation rising, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If someone drives slowly in front of you, ask, will this matter by tonight? If a coworker makes a small mistake, ask, is this worth my energy? If a stranger posts something stupid online, ask, does this impact my life in any real way? That simple question pulls your mind out of the emotional tunnel and gives it perspective. You can also use the 5x5 rule. If it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes being upset about it. Another technique, imagine you're watching yourself from above. Would you look ridiculous getting worked up over something so small? Often, the answer humbles you immediately. This teaching matters because when you stop magnifying small problems, you reclaim enormous amounts of mental peace. You realize most of the things that anger you don't deserve your time, your emotion, or your attention. But even with perspective, anger can still sneak in, especially when we misinterpret people's actions. That's why the next lesson is critical, because if you don't learn to separate intention from outcome, you'll keep taking things personally and reacting to things that weren't meant to hurt you. Number 5, build emotional distance through detachment. Anger often hits hardest when you're too emotionally attached to how things should be. You get irritated because you take everything personally, people's moods, their mistakes, their tone, their choices, their reactions. Stoicism teaches a powerful alternative, emotional detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop absorbing. You stop letting every inconvenience, every comment, and every situation invade your inner world. It's the ability to observe without immediately reacting, to feel without being controlled, and to care without losing yourself. When you detach, small things lose their sting because they no longer penetrate your emotional core. Start practicing detachment with this simple mindset shift. This is happening around me, not to me. If someone is rude, remind yourself their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. If someone forgets something important, don't interpret it as an attack. Just see it as a moment of human imperfection. If plans change, don't label it as a disaster. See it as life simply being life. One powerful technique is the observer's seat. Imagine you're watching the situation from a distance, like a movie. When you're the observer, you're calm, analytic, and emotionally neutral. You can also create emotional distance by naming your feelings. This is irritation. This is frustration. When you label emotions, your brain switches from reaction mode to management mode. Another technique is the 3-breath reset. When something triggers you, breathe 3 slow breaths before you respond. Those breaths create a mental buffer, a moment where detachment can take over before anger does. This teaching matters because without emotional distance, life becomes heavier than it needs to be. You become reactive, fragile, and easily thrown off balance. Detachment gives you control. It protects your peace. It allows you to choose your battles instead of being dragged into every little irritation. But even with emotional distance, there's still one major reason we get angry at small things. Because we interpret everything through assumptions instead of clarity. And unless you learn to choose logic over interpretation, anger will always find a way back in. Conclusion. When you zoom out and look at these Stoic teachings together, a clearer picture emerges. Most of the things that make you angry are not actually big problems. They're small irritations reacting with an untrained mind. By lowering your expectations of others, you stop being shocked by normal human behavior. By pausing before reacting, you prevent tiny moments from becoming emotional explosions. By letting go of control, you stop fighting battles you were never meant to win. By questioning whether something truly matters, you protect your energy from pointless draining. And by building emotional distance through detachment, you reclaim your inner balance. These aren't just techniques, they're tools for emotional freedom. Tools that help you stop handing your peace over to minor inconveniences and thoughtless people. Tools that turn you from reactive into unshakable. And if you've reached this point in the video, one thing is already clear. You're serious about mastering yourself. You're not here for entertainment. You're here for transformation. And that's exactly what Stoic Pathway is built for. If this video helped you, even in a small way, do me one favor. Like the video so it reaches more people who need these teachings. Share it with someone who gets frustrated easily. They'll thank you later. And leave a comment telling me which Stoic teaching hit you the hardest. Your comments help shape future videos and keep this community growing. Thank you for watching, and remember, calm isn't an accident, it's a skill. And with Stoic wisdom, it's a skill you can master. See you in the next video.